everyone, Joshua here from the Great Going Back to a new Simpsons review. And if y'all didn't see the last one, go and check it out. And this is another good episode. Again, I am very happy of these good episode pairings. And batch of good episodes that we've had. I mean, it's probably been like 2 or so seasons ago since we've had a bad episode, too. That's a real good thing, though, if you think about it. That's a good thing. I'm glad about that. But this is another decent-like episode. That's all I can say. Another decent-like episode. And the episode starts with Marge. Principal Skinner's mom, Milhouse's mom, and of course, our Ned's wife doing, and like I said, Mrs. Krabappel as well, doing this kind of like mating-like thing, women's-like mating. And, of course, the pastor's wife, too. Reverend Lovejoy's wife. Doing, of course, these, and talking about these discussions and stuff. And, yeah, Marge, obviously, as she normally is with some of this stuff, doesn't agree with it. Which, yeah, she just doesn't feel comfortable exactly. Which, yeah, she just gets told that she can leave if she wants, and, of course, these other things that they advertised. And they do all in favor of kicking Marge out of the group. And, yeah, they pretty much do. And, of course, she gets a check. And Homer pretty much saying, the family pretty much wondering of what she's going to do exactly. And Homer pretty much sticking himself in the eye with a hot dog. Which, yeah, they go and Marge actually wants to try to do a franchise of her own. Yeah, she wants to try to do a franchise of her own, which this robot keeps making them not go. And Bart just pours some drink in it, making it malfunction. And this guy pretty much talking about things that people would want to know about doing franchises, and this guy too. And yeah, Marge is actually starting to be concerned about this whole thing. And then, surprise, surprise, Mrs. Krabappel, the pastor's wife, Ned's wife, and Principal Skinner's mom all sew up. And of course, start talking with her. And Homer saying this disco record sales. And shows that his fists or Homer points out that his fists are dead. And this guy's fists are dead, and he's like, he knows, and he could never get them out. And they pretty much go to this booth or restaurant-like thing, and they all eat these, not sure what they actually called them exactly. And Marge starting to get down, and actually she sees this pretzel wagon pretty much, and she tries this pretzel from this guy, and she actually really enjoys it. And it turns out it's not normally like how pretzels are made. It's not made by what you would expect. It's made differently. And, of course, they're welcoming the new group of, obviously. And, of course, Bart jumps in and he gets taken away. So Marge pretty much accepts the pretzel business. Yeah. And, of course, he watches this tape of the guy talking about and showing of how to do pretzels. and she makes a little office. And of course, Homer closing the garage on in Ned, or not literally on Ned, but blocking him from seeing, and Bart and Marge throwing some flyers while Homer and Lisa just riding in the car, and the chief just crying, and he's like, make sure there's none of these bugs inside. Which Homer does some inspections, and they're all clear. So they go to the power plant. And, Marge and the kids go to the power plant. And Homer tells his friends, his fellow workers, that there's a different sound of traits coming. And that it's actually some pretzels. And Lisa mentions that everybody is coming, like the whole power plant, which they put the hairnets on. Maggie just covers her whole face, poor little thing. And yeah, Marge seems like she's going to have a good start. And of course, everybody's still trying to decide exactly what they want. And Mr. Burns is like, hurry it up. Can't get any older or younger here. And then, of course, her rivals come, because, surprise, surprise, Mrs. Krabappel and her group come, and pretty much trying to take over Marge's business, obviously, which she, again, wants to try to do good in this pretzel business, which this guy comes and tells him to stop, which he's got all these coupons for free pretzels, and of course he tells all of his kids to come, which they just keep on coming and coming and coming and coming. Like, he's got just so many kids, which again, Marge is starting to not be certain. And once he says about the cat of the copyright thing, it's pretty funny. Which, yeah, they go to a baseball stadium, which, see if anybody wants some pretzels, and the announcers announced that this ride, that Mr. Burns wins. Yeah, Mr. Burns obviously wins this really cool RV-like car, and everybody starts throwing the pretzels at him. And Marge is obviously being upset that they're throwing her pretzels. And of course, this guy pretty much telling them to stop, but he gets hit with pretzels. And yeah, Marge telling the kids that just live life low and don't expect all your coming dreams, and pretty much telling them really sad things. And yeah, everybody's all sad, pretty much, for Marge, because Marge really wanted this to succeed, and Homer is not going to give up. Homer wants to make things good for Marge, so he goes to the guy that does the pretzels, where he did for Marge, and yeah, he's dead. And then this other guy, too, he's dead too. Lacey tries going to the church, and he talks to, surprise, surprise, Big Fat Tony. Yup, and his group. Which Marge saying that they're no longer doing a business until she gets a really good deal. And Homer says that he did some things to make it work. Which, they start playing Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy music. Like the dun 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 dun. Like they keep, and then dun 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 dun. They keep playing, or they play that music on this montage while it's doing a montage pretty much of Marge getting money. And while they're doing these... Again, it's really cool that they played Merman Barnacle Boy music. Or that in Merman Barnacle Boy episodes they used. Marge obviously going back in the car, kicking these kids out, and wondering to Principal Skinner if these pencils are going to be good for the children for learning. Which this thing I guess one of the goons of Big Tony pretty much points this laser or gun at Principal Skinner and telling him to just take them. And of course, the policemen are saying that, yeah, they can't carry any of this stuff of Marge's competitors, pretty much. Which, yeah, their van pretty much explodes. And Mo is like, Homer's money is normally not good here, when he finds out that it's actually real money. So he actually does take. And he uses the restroom. And surprise, surprise, Fat Tony is there. And wanting to pretty much get their earning of the payment. Get their money of it. Which he looks all sad until he's like, what am I doing? Which, yeah, Marge is driving, obviously doing some delivery, until she gets surprised Big Tony and his goons trying to turn off her car and telling her that she's got so little time, little hours to give them their money, or the worst will happen. Which, yeah, Marge is not happy with Homer. Yeah, again, she is angry with Homer. And she just faces that it's just no use. And that she can't give her money like that to somebody like them. Which, they come out, or they are just trying to bake the pretzels before they get here. And when they think it's them, it's Grandpa Simpson. Which, when they close the door and open it again, it's them. Like, just like that. And they want the money. And Marge is like, no. And right before they get in trouble, Mrs. Krabappel and her gang pretty much came. Still angry, of course. And of course, have these Japanese China-like fighters, which, yeah, Fat Tony's gang and their gang pretty much do a fight. And Homer and Marge, obviously, well, Homer pretty much saying sorry to Marge, and the kids wondering what's going on, and they're like, go back to bed, until one of the guys come. One of the Chinese guys busts through the glass of their kitchen and yeah, it just runs back out. A really funny way to end this episode. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure notifications turned on so you never miss anything new, and let me know what y'all think. Catch y'all next one.